Alright, down here in Virginia. Thinking about a bunch of things. I'm here getting my oil changed. It shows up backwards. I wonder if that shows up right forward. It's kind of weird. But I'm out here getting my oil changed. And kind of a rainy day. Trying to figure out if I should get the truck washed or not. But it's a little windy over here. It wasn't earlier. There's a nice little truck in the background, Peterbilt. But mainly what I'm wanting to do is kind of a little bit of a talk on kind of how I bought my house. It's kind of an automotive channel, supposed to be, but I think that, to be able to have cars and stuff at the same time, you gotta, have a house to have all this stuff in. So I came home for Christmas. This was quite a few years ago now, 10, 11 years ago, whatever it was. But I came home for Christmas, and I was looking at the Craigslist, and just so happened to find a house. It had 19 acres, I think it was, and asking price was like $129, and we didn't have the credit, down payment, anything at the time to be buying a house. So we went and looked at it anyway, and we talked to the guy, and I don't know if that looks dark or not there. We ended up talking to the guy, and that might be better. And he said that he bought the house as an investment, as a foreclosure, and he owns it. He bought it, paid for it and everything, but he's trying to figure out what he could do with the place. So I said, we're in a furnished apartment now. We didn't even have all of our stuff from the last place we lived yet. And we said we'd be interested in buying it, but, property taxes is expensive and stuff, and, we don't need 19 acres of land. So he said, well, the neighbor's been bugging me about selling him 5 acres to go with his property with the neighbors. So he said that he'd be interested in breaking off 5 acres and selling the house. So we ended up waiting a little while. We didn't move into the house till the following September was actually officially our first month there, I think it was. What we ended up doing was wait until the beginning of summer, and then wife and kids ended up coming with me on the road. So we ended up waiting until like September. So we put, basically explaining that if we're, I don't know how to explain it. When you want something, just don't stop till you get it. We thought that by selling our place where we used to live, that we'd have down payment for the house, and it did end up working out that way, long story short. And with it still didn't work out right. We put $2,500 down, and we're renting it for $800 a month, and like $200 of the rent was going towards the purchase price. Well, actually, a few years ended up going by, like 3 or 4, and the house was hung up in the previous owner protested the foreclosure process. So with her protesting the foreclosure process, technically he couldn't sell the place. So we were starting to get frustrated and concerned that, we weren't going to be able to buy the place. So we didn't do anything to it. we maintained it and took care of it, but we didn't, paint anything. We didn't do any flooring. We didn't do anything other than maintenance that we needed to do to live in the place. And a lot of things went on as life does. 3 or 4 years go by, and we're living in the house, renting it for $800. So we said, at the end of the day, we couldn't even, rent a place for what we bought this place for. So we just continued to rent it and said, what, if we don't get to end up buying it, we don't. So all of a sudden one day, well, let me back up. Then I quit moving furniture over the road and started a local job delivering gas as a company driver. And then a couple of months after that got started, the owner of the house come by and said it's his, that he's able to sell it. And I said, well, I just started a local job. I said, I doubt that I'd be able to get financed for a loan. He says, well, for I forget what it was, $8,000 or $10,000 down payment, that he would finance it for us for like 8 years. So that's what we ended up doing. I sold the Peterbilt truck I had and put the down payment on the house. And I think our purchase price ended up being $85,000. So we bought it $85,000, and he financed it for 8 years, whatever it was, I forget. And then about 2 years go by, and we needed some money, so we ended up refinancing the house through our credit union. And we got an appraisal, and it was worth $140 or something like that, and the credit union refinanced $85,000. So we pulled out $40,000 equity and put $20,000 on bills and $20,000 in the bank, and we now have a 15-year mortgage on the house. But technically, we shouldn't be in that house. It all along the way, I mean, for 6, 7 years, it was hung up to where we didn't know what we were going to do. But we know what we wanted, and we kept pushing forward. We didn't take no for an answer, and we were careful. I've heard of a lot of people in a buy here, pay here type deal, rent to own, lease to own, and they go through and they put up garages and they paint the house and do the flooring and remodel the house, everything. Well, at the end of the day, it's not their house. And technically, it's still not our house because we have a mortgage on it. It's not ours till we officially own it. So I just see so many people put so much money into stuff that they don't actually own. So, but that's a whole nother long story on something else. So basically what I'm saying is, we didn't know what we were going to do. We had to live in the house, and so we took care of it, and we painted a few things, because paint's fairly cheap. But we didn't go through redoing hardwood floors and rebuilding the kitchen and putting a ton of money into it. We waited till it was ours. Technically. It's technically ours. I guess I could say that. It's technically our house, but it's mine and the mortgage's house. The mortgage company. It's not our home. We're not, in my opinion, we're not homeowners until there is no lien on the property. When there is no lien on the property, then it's ours. Which still does not mean it's ours, because You don't pay your taxes, they take it. Nothing's ever yours all the way. So, but I don't consider myself a homeowner until mortgage company is off the title. So that's a nice Peterbilt in that first bay right there. Hopefully I can try to get a picture of it. It's kind of what I was hoping for by standing over here. But just don't give up on what you truly want. I mean, the house, it's an old farmhouse. It needs work and stuff, but we love the property, we love the house, everything about it's just so cool, so we didn't give up on it. We just kept pushing. 7 or 8 years. Actually, we've been in the house, I think 8 years. So for 6 years, we weren't for sure on that it was going to be ours. And we wanted to, on the owner carry deal, when it came time to wanting to refinance it, we said, it's just going to be a better deal because it was still a private lender, a private guy that carried the note. So I wanted to still get one step closer to being our house, because at the end of the day, you don't really know. He was an older gentleman, and we'll just say we got concerned with his age on us. I didn't want stuff to happen, and then anyway, I wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to own the house. So that's why we ended up refinancing it in to the bank. Plus we wanted some money, which never does any good. I strongly suggest against refinancing a house to pull out cash, because the cash ends up gone. Well, did in our case anyway. So we're not doing that anymore. I'm at a point now where it'd be nice to be able to pull some equity back out of the house again, but I want to be a homeowner, which means I want to pay it off. So eventually that's what it'll be. But I got a suggestion the other day about putting in my description, stuff, inspirational quotes, and that's kind of what I wanted this to be, a little bit of an inspirational quote. I'll explain how we bought our pickup truck someday too. I'll go through that. I didn't have the money in the bank for the down payment when we bought the truck, and it was a pretty expensive purchase. $72,000 truck. Our payment for the first year till we refinanced it was $1,300 a month. I didn't have that kind of money, but I believed in myself. I believed in my family. I believed in what I was trying to do. Most of the time that's enough. So hoping to get this Peterbilt pulling out over here. But that's really what I want for an inspirational quote. To don't stop till you get what you want. And here comes this truck. It's a pretty nice Peterbilt. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Do the right thing. Like, subscribe, comment, suggestions. I know I go back and forth from my GoPro to my camera, but my camera right now, it's the easiest way to upload. I won't edit this footage. I'll just post it. So that's the easiest way to go. So all right, gotta go. Do the right thing. Like, subscribe, comment. All that stuff. Supposed to say. So all right, bye.